Okay, boys and girls, let me tell you a little anecdote about what my life is like. All right, I've got 20 beautiful projects. I've got no one teamed up with me and working with me on them in a really dedicated way. And I feel really sad, and I feel like I've got all these beautiful things that are detailed, described from soup to nuts, but they're not complete. So I'm in one place in St. Pete, and I need to get back to Bartow to have a 5 o'clock in the morning dialysis treatment, and I need to raise some funds for tomorrow. And Sweet One has told me that at best, I need to be spending about 20 hours out in public just interacting with people. So in my spirit, I heard go to a series of 4 racetrack gas stations and sing cheerful songs. Well, I went to a racetrack gas station and things worked out quite well last week. And then today, as I was heading out of St. Pete, I got this picture of one racetrack in a specific place on 22nd Avenue North on the way to 275, which is the way home to Lakeland, Bartow, Polk County. I just knew that I needed to go to that racetrack. And in the past, I have spent about 2.5 hours just singing my heart out. And this time I heard 20 minutes. So I went. I was not feeling good. I was actually having some physical problems, and I had to get to the bathroom in the racetrack, and it was not a pleasant moment. But I felt like I'm here, I was called here. I need to be here with my musical instruments singing some songs for 20 minutes at least. So it was uncomfortable, but I got myself set up. And just as I was setting up, there was a divine appointment that was just about so wonderful, I wanted to jump up and down. There's a young woman, at least young to me. I'm 66. She might have been 33 or 34. This woman comes up, and I start singing Lean on Me, and she's truly enjoying it. And then she said, I have never been to this racetrack before. I was going to come here a while ago, but the Holy Spirit prevented me. And she's telling her story about being from Connecticut. And it was a really joyful, encouraging meeting of 2 friends out in the world. Just a happy little meeting. And I'm going to remind you and remind everybody that I am a person who, in the first 14 years of churchianity, I could feel there was something very fake and very wrong going on. And in that environment, they hid my mother's baptism in the Holy Spirit, and they hid the outrageous promiscuity that caused my conception, little me, to happen. They never gave any coaching about the wonderful, crazy, insane arousal and desire that happens to all or most human beings. And there was all this information that I didn't get any coaching on. And then, when I was almost 40 years old, I was truly invaded and arrested by God because He showed me the proofs of why the Bible is a supernatural piece of literature and why Jesus of Nazareth is so important. And when I got this big wake up in April 1994, I took a 24-year tour of the church mess in America just to observe and learn humbly from as many different people and groups as possible, because I knew that it wasn't all bad, but I knew I had to stop slandering. And right before that God invasion, I had an elder person train me and my close girlfriend how to do self-control practice. And when I did self-control practice, he mentioned that if you learn how to close your desires, you open your heart and your spirit to the divine, to the supernatural, to the Creator. And gosh, that's what happened about a few months later. So, the most important thing that I learned in my 24-year tour is this. True ecclesia. The word ecclesia is translated church. But what it means is people who are called out of the ordinary world. And this young woman that I just met, she likes to be called Gypsy. And she is clearly called out of the ordinary world. And the word ecclesia means called out of the ordinary world and gathered together in a gathering. The word church doesn't do it justice. It needs to be described in the original Hebrew language form, what it really means. It's a really neat term, ecclesia. Just skip out on the word church. True ecclesia is a group of friends that love being true and supportive of one another. So, in my life, I have never had true ecclesia in a regular way. And I like to declare, you have never had true ecclesia at least 2 or 3 times a week for weeks and months and years and decades. And neither have I. Because the big hotshot teachers are not teaching about true ecclesia because they are under the influence of materialistic government and money controls, and there are actual demons, actual tricky, powerful spirits that are camping out on the churchianity human beings. And most people think I'm kind of nuts for saying this. Well, you know, my church is a good church and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, if you want to join me in developing the practice of true ecclesia It's very pleasant, very wonderful. Raises the kids up, learning how to imitate adults and how they cheerfully admit their faults. Cheerfully admitting faults was pretty much the primary reason while the early church people came together for the first 300 years. They came together to clean up their consciences and feel free again, like they did at the moment of their baptism. That was a goal. That was a purpose for gathering. To clean conscience, receive communion, and have deep fellowship with the sweetness of the Comforter, the Holy Spirit. Come on, let's do this. This is the only thing that I've discovered causes former drug addicts to not backslide and get caught in the muck. And female human beings deserve protection, shelter, support from male human beings who have a different character and different powers and different weaknesses. It's awesome. So anyhow, I tip my hat to a woman named Grace out there in the world who doesn't even have a phone. And to all of you, study true ecclesia. It's a private meeting in a home. The early disciples had public meetings and very private meetings. And an unbaptized non-believer was not even allowed to see was not even allowed to see the communion meal. That was a closed and private gathering for only those who are willing to be tortured and die for friend Jesus and truth today. So, if you are taking a stand against militarized medical controls, and large international lockdowns, you are part of the truth army. Be aware that speaking and singing in the Holy Spirit language of the baptism of the Holy Spirit is a sweet gift for all human beings. You don't have to join some Christian club or organization to receive the Holy Spirit. Here, do this with me. Just speak it out. I renounce all evil, all wrong choices, and all habits that are self-destructive and a bad habit to others. All things are permissible, but all things are not beneficial. As I am renouncing all tragic habits, all evil, self-destruction, and negativity, please, strongest spirit, spirit above all, spirit who created everything, please, strong spirit, pour out the perfect spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Comforter on me. Pour out the Holy Spirit on me. I renounce all evil. Pour out the Holy Spirit on me. I renounce all evil. Pour out the Holy Spirit on me. And just flow like a little child heart in your Holy Spirit language. and then go to Speaking in Tongues Medical Study, and you will discover that science has shown that your frontal lobe, when you are speaking in the Holy Spirit, your frontal lobe is at rest as if you are not speaking. It is a peculiar and rare and unusual and strange scientific discovery. Speaking in Tongues Medical Study. Get your Holy Spirit baptism. Renounce your evil. Get your Holy Spirit baptism. Begin singing and speaking in the Spirit, and you will receive many little baby steps and guidances. You'll even receive an understanding of how to handle people that are bitter or hateful towards you. Enough. This is a little introduction to Grandpa Honesty Guy and what my days are like. The life in the Spirit is not pleasant and easy. It's full of troubles and longings, hatreds and persecutions. But it is also the receiving of such a deep contentment and such a deep comfort and loving guidance that you wouldn't want to go back to the old tragic panic. And just because you know Bible scriptures does not mean that you have received the fullness of the Comforter. Do a little Google study. Jesus' words about the Comforter. Jesus' words about the Holy Spirit. Jesus' words about the Comforter. Just do a Google study on that. Read the studies, and you will learn a lot. Peace be with you.